Oh, that smells nice.
Bacon curry, 15 minutes
curry,
flat.
Oh, it smells good, doesn't it? Spoons in a minute, don't we, Tom?
Hello and welcome to the London Bike. You join us here at the 2011 Horizons Unlimited Travellers Meeting in Ripley in Derby, which is fantastic. And we're here on the last day and I've got a shed load of leftovers, so we are going to make a chicken balti. Well, it's kind of chicken, it's more a curry inspired by chicken balti. So we've had the rice going for a little bit, that's pretty much done, so we're going to knock that off. Now, a curry is actually incredibly simple. All we need to do, nice big pot. Curry generally needs a fair amount of oil. So we're going to put in quite a lot of olive oil there, which you wouldn't normally use, but it's all right. It does the job. And that oil is there primarily to soften the onions. Now the base of a good curry is onion, and you want a lot of onions. Now this recipe is for 2 people. So I've used 2 very large onions. Now they're chopped up into fairly large pieces. The other thing that you can see on here is crushed and chopped garlic. Again, a fair amount of garlic. What we're going to do is we're going to add those to the hot oil. And we want to soften them. That is going to take a few minutes. So just while they're finishing off, we're going to prepare the other ingredients. It's really simple. You want something sweet just to lift the flavor a little bit. In this case, we're going to use celery. You don't need very much celery, but it is an important base ingredient. If you don't like celery and want to use something different, try increasing the amount of courgette, or the other thing you can try is carrot. But you don't need very much. In fact, I think we'll just go with that. The other ingredients are tomatoes, a lot thereof. Big, soft, juicy tomatoes. I've got 3 here. That's what was in the shop. I could probably have got away with adding 4, 5, maybe even 6 tomatoes. You want them chunked up. It doesn't matter if they're in a particular shape. We want all the juices. We want there to be a lot of juice. Doesn't matter what they look like. You just want flavor. And at this time of year, just as the tomatoes are coming on the vine here in the UK, they are beautiful. Although I doubt these are British tomatoes, given I bought them in Lidl's yesterday. Along with the whiskey. So we'll just finish these off. Now the other base ingredient of curry, once you pass the actual veg and the meat, is the seasoning. And it's actually the paste. And a curry paste, you can buy it in packs, and that's a perfectly legitimate thing to do. If you want to create your paste from a packet, you can do that. Let's just turn that down a little bit. But actually a basic curry paste is really simple. They really softened off now, so we're going to do the curry paste. Curry paste, tomato paste, then something like cumin seeds, which I have a bag of here. That's what gives it the curry flavour, and then we're using chili powder to give it the bite. So you can get the heat if you want the heat, or not if you don't like it. So we'll start with the tomato puree. Now in this recipe you want about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. Throw that in. We want, how much chili powder? I reckon we're gonna go with about 1.5 teaspoons. I think that's enough for me. Cumin seeds. Now there's a lot of cumin seeds, but as this is such a central part to the flavour, we're going to put quite a lot in. I would say that is about 6 teaspoons of cumin seeds. Now we'll just get that mixed in. Now when you start this mix, in fact, let's have a look at that. You can see that it's quite dry. Now this is a difference to a lot of the cooking that we've done, where it's been very wet. The food is very wet, almost stew-like. This is not wet. It's not meant to be. At this point, let's get this heat right down. It's not meant to be. It's a paste. And that paste has got to work through those onions. This is what it looks like. Don't be afraid of that. At this point, it's probably a good idea to add a couple of vegetable oxo cubes. For this amount is probably 2. You could consider that overkill, but I think it just needs that uplifting flavour. It does depend how strong a meat you're using. And as we are here in Danny Taylor's, Danny the Squirrel Stunner Taylor's compound at the Traveller's Meet, meat isn't a problem, of course, and Danny has been very kind and has gone out and has provided us with a squirrel. So I said it was chicken curry inspired, and it is inspired by chicken curry, but it's going to be made from squirrel. Well, it was supposed to be made from squirrel. What's actually happened is that Danny, I love Danny, beautiful guy, but he's backed out of the video at the last minute because he used all of his squirrels yesterday. So, in true making it up as we go along style, this curry is going to be made with bacon. Because we happen to have some bacon left over from lunch. I'm sure you can see that, from breakfast even, I'm sure that you can see that a bacon curry is going to be lovely. So look at that colour now, deep red. Look how soft those onions are. What we've done is use those onions to create that base. We've created that curry paste from tomato paste, from cumin seeds, and from the chili powder to give it the bite. Now what we're going to do is add the wet ingredients and the sweet ingredients. The wet ingredients, of course, the tomatoes. The sweet ingredients, the celery. We'll give that a stir. Oh, look at that now. That's really beginning to look just beautiful. Now we've got the heat at this point on a simmer. You don't want it any more. You don't want it any more than that. You will kill it off. Really make sure that's thrown over the side. Make sure that's stirred in well. What we're going to do now is we're going to add a courgette. I really like a courgette in this kind of curry. It lifts, really lifts the flavour, gives it a little bit of body when everything else has worked its way down, because those tomatoes and that celery is going to reduce, it's going to get soft. Those onions are soft, they're gooey. The courgette gives you something, still quite soft when it's cooked down, gives you a little bit of texture and that sweetness. It's different to the celery sweetness, but it still lifts, really lifts that flavour away from the cumin seeds. Let's get those in. Give that a stir. It also changes the colour a little bit. Now, I know that I've very rarely done vegetarian cooking. You have to excuse me when I just pump away for a moment. I think I've lost pressure. I've not done a lot of vegetarian cooking, but to be perfectly honest with you, this is a very, very good vegetarian curry. You could leave it at that, walk away, serve it with rice, and it would be beautiful. But I like my meat, so we are going to experiment with bacon curry. I can't think of anyone who's ever done bacon curry. I have no idea if it's going to work. Now, if we were doing this with chicken or with other meat, what I would do is brown the meat off first. Just brown it, just to seal the meat. That's all we want to do. But in this case, it's cheap bacon from Lidl. Searing it is going to do very little to enhance the flavour of the meat. Also, because it's bacon and it's so finely cut, I'm just going to break that bacon up a little bit. Get in there with your hands, break the bacon up, leave the fat in, all that good flavour. I'm actually just going to pop that in like that without browning it off. I'm going to give it a stir and I'm going to leave that to simmer anything up to 20 minutes, half an hour, as much time as you want. I would say you want to leave it simmer for a minimum of 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Helen's brilliant. No, she's fair, please. Helen, carry on. A little bit of distraction there. That's Pink Helen. 15 minutes, I would say, is your absolute minimum. So look at the colour. Look how beautiful this looks already. I'd say good enough to eat if I hadn't just put in half a pound of raw bacon. So make sure that's stirred in. Break up that bacon. Then we're going to leave that simmer for about 15 minutes. My rice I cooked earlier on is pretty much ready to go. Come back in 15 minutes and let's see whether or not bacon curry works. Right, well that's about 15 minutes and the consistency of that is beautiful. The courgettes are just starting to soften up, but they haven't gone completely soft. The celery has gone soft. The tomatoes have all but completely disintegrated. And that bacon has cooked in a matter of moments. So, I've plated up the rice. Now, I said this recipe was for 2 people. As ever, I may have over-egged that. So I think that's enough for 1 person. That's enough for 1 person. Look at that. And actually, there's quite a lot left. So we'll share that around the 2011 Horizon Unlimited Travellers Meeting. Those of us who are still here on the Sunday after a weekend of drunken debauchery and of listening to Lois Price and Austin Vince tell us about their amazing travel stories, and a whole host of other people telling us about their amazing travel stories. For now though, bacon curry. Phil's got tasty nuts, I'm told. He's been smoking the nuts. Bacon curry. Bacon curry. If I've done this right, it tastes like curry with a bit of bacon, and it shouldn't be too hot. That's really good, but the salt in the bacon has taken away the kick of the curry. With the bacon, I needed much more chili powder. I don't like hot curry, so I put a little bit in. That needs to be hotter, spicier. Tastes bloody good though. Oh, this isn't going to be hanging around for long. Thank you for watching thelondonbiker.com. Join us next time for an amazing cooking video. I heard about your salty nuts.
They're quite smoky after 2 days in front of the fire, but they
Did you? I liked your salty cheese.
Yeah, smoked cheese. Yeah, that's really good. I am going to be
Eat it all. That's the whole point.
I've eaten for 4 days. I've done nothing but Giles. Look, Giles, you draw.